Hello all. Let us now discuss about the different data types in Python. At the end of this video, you will get a clear understanding about the different data types like integer, float, boolean, string, complex, list, tuple, set, and dictionary. So let us now start with the first example. So I hope you know how to print a number. So what is the code? We have already discussed this in the previous video. I will give the link in the description. If you are not clear with that concept, definitely you can watch the video and come back so that you can get a clear understanding. So let me try to print one. Wow, it is getting printed. So let me type 1. So whenever we want to get the data type of it, we should write type. So now to run the cell, what is the shortcut key I said? Yes, exactly. Shortcut key. Shift plus enter. Int means integer. Integer is nothing but a number without a decimal point. So now in case if I write 100, again you can see that it is an integer. If I write minus 100, again it is an integer, right? So integer is nothing but a number without a decimal point. So let me print another number now. Say for example, 100.2. Yeah, so it is getting printed. So let me write type 100.2. Now we get different data type, which is basically a float. What is meant by float? A number with a decimal point. You can see a decimal point here, right? So a number with a decimal point is called as a float. So let me write another number also. Type minus 10.5. So let me see again. Yes, it is a float. Now, let me give you another question. 1E4. Okay, 1E4. So run this code. I'm not going to run the code. You run this code and tell me what data type this is. So now if you see, I didn't run this code, right? But I have added another cell. How I did that? In the previous video, I have explained, right? So you can click on insert cell below, right? Now, the next example, I'll print true. So this was a question in the previous video, right? Yeah. So now true is getting printed. So let me write type of true. So you can see that it is bool. So I had get a question now. Let me try with false. It is again boolean. So boolean is a data type where we have only true or false. So let me write type and true. What do you think? What will happen now? Exactly. It will throw an error. Why it is throwing an error? Name error. Do you remember I told you that Python is case sensitive? So we should write capital T, but instead of that, when I write small t here, it is throwing an error. Fine. So let me print hello now. So if I run this cell, what happens? Exactly. There would be an error again. Why there would be an error? Again, you can see that name error, name hello is not defined. So how can it correct it? Either I can use single inverted comma or I can use double inverted comma. So it is working well. So I want to get the data type of it. Let me write type and hello. So it is str. Str is nothing but a string, right? So in layman term, you can understand that if it is of the textual format, text format, then it is basically string data type, right? So the next one, write my name here. So what would be the data type now? Perfect. So it is the string data type. So let me write another one, 2 plus 3j. So when I run the cell, you can see that it is the complex data type, right? So do we use this in data science? If you ask me, no, not really, not much, right? Not much, I can say. But it is important to understand the different data types. Okay, so 2 plus 3j. Okay, now can I replace this j with any other letters? Let us see. Now it throws an error, syntax error, invalid syntax. Also, you can see that the error is over here, right? So how it should be written? It should be written with j. So in case, if I type j, you can see that again j is not defined, right? If I write like 2j, it's working fine. So in case if I want to mention j, I can write it like a 1j. Fine. So, so far we have discussed data types like integer. What is integer? Number without decimal point, right? Decimal point. And then we have discussed about float with the decimal point, right? I'm writing in short form. And then we discussed about Boolean, right? So Boolean means we have seen like true or false. And then we have discussed about string data type. So that is of the text format. And the last one we have discussed about complex, right? So with a real and imaginary number, right? Say for example, we have seen like 2 plus 3j, right? So now, being a beginner, you should always make a note of all these comments in your notebook so that in the future, whenever you come across your notebook, you can recollect the concepts easily, right? So I want to make it only as comments. So what I'm supposed to do, if you all remember, we have actually clicked on this code and then we can change it to markdown. Then immediately it changes into blue, right? So now we can run it. So when I run it, you can see that it is working fine. But now, is there any shortcut key to do that? Yes, exactly, right? So I'll show you. Say, for example, I'm writing another data type. Or let me add a heading here, right? So I want to add a cell above. So what did I tell you? Insert cell above. Also, there is a shortcut. So you can keep the cursor here. Just click on this cursor where you want to add a cell above. Just keep the cursor there and just press A, above, A, right? So now let me write like data types. Okay. So now I want to change it to a heading. So what did I tell you? You can go to code, click on markdown and you can run it, right? So let me tell you the shortcut key. Again, you keep it here, press M. M, M is nothing but markdown. So once you press M, you can see that it is turning into blue, right? So now press Shift plus Enter, which is the shortcut key for run. Hope it is clear, right? So we will continue with the next data type. So let me write some numbers like, so can you see the difference? The first one, if you see, I have just given a number. You can see that one, right? So type one. But here, what am I doing? So I'm giving multiple numbers here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want to get the type of it. So to get the type, what should I write? I should write type and also parenthesis, right? But inside, if you see, I have used a square bracket with certain numbers. So let me run the code now. Looking something different, which is basically list. So what is list that we will discuss later? Just I'm telling you the different data types now, right? So this is enclosed inside a square bracket. So what am I going to do now? Let me copy and paste it here. And instead of square bracket, I'm replacing this with, right? Let me run this, whether it is working or not. Definitely it will throw an error. So, because for this itself, there should be a parenthesis, right? So, let me run this now. You can see that this is tuple. Some people pronounce it as tuple, some people as triple, however you want. You can go ahead with that, right? So, this is tuple. Again, the list tuple, dictionary, and such. I'll be making separate videos. But for now, you can understand like according to the brackets, actually the data type is changing. You can see that, right? So now what I'm trying to do, instead of square bracket or parenthesis, I'm using this curly bracket. Generally, we call it like a set bracket, right? Floor brackets, right? So let me run it. You can see that it is a set, right? Square bracket list, parenthesis tuple, and then curly bracket set. So now we will look into another one. This could be new to all of you, right? So let me write type. Say I'm going to write, for example, right? So here also I'm using curly bracket and I'm writing a colon. Let it be apple. Will this work? Will this work? No, it will not work. Why? Yes, it is a string, right? What is? Yes, correct. So let me add another one also, right? Let me write ball. Let us see whether it is working or not. Yes, it is working successfully. You can see dictionary. You can see here, it's it's not exactly looking like set. Only the bracket is the same, but you can see something like something is written before colon, something is written after colon. So what is this? This is basically called as dictionary data type. So what is this list? What is tuple? What is set? What is dictionary? All these we would be discussing in the upcoming videos. So for now, be clear with all these data types like integer, float, boolean, string, and also complex, right? But the first four are very important. Hope this is clear to everyone. Thank you.